Picture a workshop in Kyoto. It's 6:43 in the morning. A man is sharpening a chisel. He has been doing this for 31 years. He does not check his phone before he begins. He does not start with his hardest task. He does not make a list. He starts by sharpening the chisel. Not because the chisel is dull, but because the act of sharpening tells his hands, we are here now. It tells his mind. Everything else can wait. By 7 a.m., he is working at a speed that no amount of coffee could produce, and he will work at that speed until noon, without a single notification, without a single wasted motion, without a single ounce of the thing that drains most of us before we even sit down, unnecessary energy. Now think about your last Monday morning. You didn't ease in. You crashed in. Before your eyes fully opened, your brain was already burning fuel on emails you hadn't read yet, on a to-do list that grew faster than you could write it down, on 15 things that each felt like they needed to happen first. And by 10 a.m., you were already tired. Not physically tired. The deep, grinding kind. The kind that says you've already spent something you can't quite name. You've tried caffeine. You've tried time blocking. You've tried motivational content at 5 a.m. We've all tried. And yet the drain keeps coming. Here's what that craftsman in Kyoto understands that most people never figure out. Your energy is not unlimited. Not your physical energy. Not your mental energy. Not even your emotional energy. All of it has a budget. And here's the brutal truth. Most of us are bleeding that budget before we've done a single thing that matters. We're spending it on decisions we didn't need to make, on reactions we didn't need to have, on information we didn't need to consume, on preparation we didn't do. Japanese culture has 5 specific habits, each one rooted in a different ancient principle, that exist for exactly this reason, not to do more, but to stop leaking. And when you apply even 2 of them, something strange happens. You find energy you didn't know you had. Not because you added anything, because you stopped throwing it away. Here are the 5 habits. Habit 1 is called the Mottainai Audit. Most people know Mottainai as Japan's word for waste. The Nobel Prize winner Wangari Maathai encountered it in Japan in 2005 and called it untranslatable. She was right. Korean has no equivalent. Chinese has no equivalent. Because other languages treat waste as a practical problem. Mottainai treats it as something closer to a moral one. Its roots are Buddhist. The idea that everything, every object, every resource, every moment carries inherent value. And to squander that value is not careless. It is a kind of harm. Now here's what no one applies this to: your attention. Your attention is the most finite resource you own. More finite than money, which can be earned back. More finite than time, which at least moves at a fixed rate. Attention spent on something unworthy is Mottainai in the deepest sense. The Mottainai Audit is simple. At the end of each day, or right now, looking at your week, ask, what am I spending attention on that produces nothing? Not activities that are restful. Not time with people you love. The invisible stuff. The passive scroll that leaves you feeling worse than before. The argument you're running and rerunning in your head about someone who isn't in the room. The emails you check 14 times waiting for one you want to see. Write them down. Not to judge yourself, but to see them. Because once you see where the leak is, you can't unsee it. And the audacity of this habit is that you don't replace those things with something productive. You just stop. You leave the space empty. That empty space, it becomes fuel. Habit 2 is Dandori Hachibu. It means 80% of any task is completed in the preparation. This principle runs so deep in Japanese manufacturing and craft culture that it shapes how entire production lines are built. And most people in the modern world have it exactly backwards. We begin. Then we figure it out. Then we scramble. Then we react. Then we recover from the scrambling. And we call that getting things done. What we're actually doing is burning premium fuel. Reactive, high-stress cognitive energy on things that cheaper fuel could have handled. Anticipation is cheap energy. Reaction is expensive energy. The craftsman who spends 20 minutes arranging his tools before starting a 4-hour project isn't being slow. He's being an energy economist. The night before any significant day, take 10 minutes and write 3 questions. What is the one thing, if I complete it, that makes everything else easier? What do I need in place before I begin? What could interrupt me? And how do I handle it before it happens? That's Dandori. You will walk into the next morning like someone who has already won a small battle, because you have. You didn't react. You anticipated. And that distinction is the difference between spending energy and conserving it. Habit 3 is Hara Hachi Bu. You may know this as Japan's famous eating principle: stop when you're 80% full. It was first written down by scholar Kaibara Ekiken in 1712 in his book Yojoken, A Guide to Living Well. He was 84 years old when he finished writing it. Japanese research has shown that mice fed to 80% capacity lived on average 1.6 times longer than those fed freely. That's the food application. But I want you to hear the deeper one. Kaibara's actual lesson was not about stomach capacity. It was about restraint as a daily discipline. His core principle: the essence of health is not exceeding in anything. Anything. This applies to conversations. Stop before you've said everything you thought of saying. The unsaid word often carries more weight than the one spoken. It applies to your work session. Stop before the tank is empty. The person who works until depletion needs a full recovery day. The person who stops at 80% comes back tomorrow with momentum already in place. It applies to your input. Books, content, information. Consume until you have what you need. Not until there's nothing left to consume. The Japanese term for the space this creates is yochi, room, margin. Without margin, everything runs on emergency power. With margin, you operate on reserves. Stop at 80% in everything. Habit 4 is going to sound like permission, because it is. Japan has one of the most counterintuitive relationships with rest in the developed world. According to OECD data, Japan ranks last among 33 developed nations in average sleep. Approximately 40% of Japanese adults sleep fewer than 6 hours a night. And yet Japanese culture has long tolerated something that would get you fired in most Western offices: sleeping in public, on trains, in waiting rooms, in offices. The Japanese call it Inemuri, literally sleeping while present. And what the science now confirms is that this cultural tolerance for micro-rest may be an unconscious counterbalance to the sleep debt the culture creates. Here's the research. A NASA study showed that a 26-minute nap improved pilots' cognitive performance by 34% and alertness by 54%. The key is the window. Under 20 minutes keeps you in stage 2 sleep, where your brain clears its processing cache and resets working memory. Over 30 minutes and you enter deep sleep, creating sleep inertia, that disoriented grogginess that takes another half hour to shake. The window that matters, 10 to 20 minutes. And here's why this is a habit about energy, not laziness. Psychiatrist Masaki Nishita documented that after 2 continuous hours of focused work, the brain's ability to detect its own fatigue degrades. You don't know you're depleted. You just start making worse decisions without understanding why. The 20-minute nap interrupts that spiral before it starts. No guilt. No alarm set for 45 minutes. One timer. 20 minutes. Eyes closed. Even if you don't fully sleep, the physiological shift restores something. This is not laziness. This is the most efficient thing you can do in 20 minutes. Habit 5 is Yuragi. It translates roughly as fluctuation, flicker, gentle irregularity. Japanese preventive medicine researchers identified Yuragi as the property of natural environments that uniquely restores human cognitive function. Not silence exactly, not darkness. The specific quality of nature that constantly, irregularly, gently changes, temperature shifting by a degree, leaves moving without pattern. The sound of water that is never quite the same twice. Light that arrives and disappears and arrives again. Our bodies, it turns out, are built on the same rhythm. Heart rate, brain waves, breath. None of them are perfectly regular. They fluctuate. They are, in the most precise sense, alive. And when you expose yourself to an environment that fluctuates the same way, something aligns. The brain stops bracing. The nervous system softens. A study found that people who walked in a park scored 20% higher on cognitive tests than those who walked in an urban environment. Same distance, same time, different environment. The difference was Yuragi. Once a day, not as exercise, not as a productivity walk. Simply go somewhere irregular. A park, a garden, a riverside path, a place where the light moves and the air changes. No podcast, no planning. Just let the environment be irregular at you. This is not idle wandering. This is your nervous system's maintenance protocol. The craftsman's eye sharpens fastest, not when he studies, but when he rests in nature between sessions. Yuragi is that rest. Let's put this together honestly. These 5 habits, the Mottainai Audit, Dandori, Hara Hachi Bu, the Recovery Nap, and Yuragi, are not a productivity system. They are not a way to squeeze more output from the same depleted machine. They are a way of recognizing what the machine actually runs on. Japan is not a perfect model. The same culture that developed these principles also created karoshi, death from overwork. These habits exist as cultural wisdom precisely because the culture also contains the forces that destroy you if you ignore them. They are the antidote, not the norm. And here is what they have in common. Every single one of them works by stopping something, not starting something. Stop consuming attention on what produces nothing. Stop reacting when you could have prepared. Stop at 80% before the tank is empty. Stop pushing through depletion when 20 minutes would restore you. Stop battering your nervous system with irregular, artificial stimulation. When you stop leaking energy in these 5 ways, you don't need to find more energy. It was there the whole time. You were just spending it before you knew you had it. You have one choice right now. You can nod, close this tab, and forget what you just heard within 48 hours. Or you can pick one. Not all 5. One. The Mottainai Audit is the fastest, 4 minutes, right now. What are you spending attention on this week that leaves you with nothing? Write it down. Don't replace it. Just stop. See what shows up in the space. If this reached you, share it with someone who's been running on fumes. They probably don't know that's what's happening. You can be the person who changes that.